YouTube. Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and today I have my March book haul for you. Well, if I'm counting correctly, I bought 18 books in March. Almost all of them were secondhand. One was an audiobook, and I did get 2 new books at my daughter's school at the book fair. So let me show you those first. I wanted to complete her collection of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books by getting her the latest one in paperback, and it's called Double Down. She's already read this, and she said, Mom, I don't really need it, but she has the entire rest of the series. And I said, you know, these are books you have read and reread over and over, and I may as well just go ahead and get the next one for you. You might even want to save them for your kids. So I went ahead and got it, and all the money that is raised at book fair goes to help buy new books for the library at school, so it's always good to help out. And for myself, I wanted to get my own copy of The Summer I Saved the World in 65 Days by Michelle Weber Hurwitz. If you saw my review about this book, you know that this is my favorite of the Sunshine State books for this school year, and I think this is going to be my favorite book of the year. It is fantastic, and I had to have my own copy. You know, anytime I'm at a library that has books for sale, I have to take a look and see what books they have to offer. I got this for 75 cents. It is My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry by Frederick Bachman. I have Man Called Uwe on my TBR for this year. It is going to be one of our book club books, and I know I'm going to love it. So when I saw this for 75 cents, I decided I should go ahead and get it, but I probably won't get to this until maybe next year sometime. And at that same library, I picked up an audiobook. I was in the middle of Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie for the second time, and I decided at that point I did want to go ahead and listen to or read more of the series, and I didn't know at the time what where this fell in the series, and I still don't, so I'll type it in here. And this is called I Am Half Sick of Shadows. This is a Flavia de Luce mystery by Alan Bradley. And what makes this series unique is that it is a mystery series for adults. It's geared towards adults, but it has a 11-year-old protagonist and sleuth. So it's really interesting, and it's very intelligent. I am really not sure I am intelligent enough to read from Flavia's perspective. She is super smart. But now that I've read Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie twice, listened to it twice, I think I'm grounded enough now to go forward, and I am looking forward to reading the next one, whichever one that is, and eventually I'll get to this one. I can't quite remember where I got this one, but this is book 2 in the Aloha Reef series by Colleen Coble. It's called Black Sands. I have the first one. The series looks really interesting. I believe the main character is a scientist that studies volcanoes. Colleen Coble is a Christian author, so I'm expecting this series to have an underlying Christian theme. It is published by Thomas Nelson Publishers, and they are a Christian publisher, so I think I'm going to be correct in that assumption. And speaking of Christian books, I picked up a Jeanette Oak book. It's actually co-written by T. Davis Bunn. They wrote the Songs of Acadia series, which I loved, and this is called Return to Harmony. I seem to be drawn to books that have harmony in the title. But I picked this up at a library out of county. My husband and I were on our way to meet with our tax guy, who is quite a drive from us, and we had forgotten to print out some information that we needed, so we stopped by the library, and of course we had to look and see what books they had, and I picked this one up, I think for a quarter or maybe 50 cents. And then the next batch came from a charity thrift store. On Wednesdays, they have half-price books, and I had a few things I wanted to donate, so I planned my donation trip on a Wednesday so that I could get half-price books. So here's another book by Jeanette Oak. It is called Reflections on the Christmas Story. I was pretty sure I did not have this, but I did. I got home and realized I had it, but I think I only spent 50 cents for it. So I can pass this one on to one of my church friends, or maybe my sister if she's interested in it. Or I might just give it to someone as a Christmas gift. And here's another Christmas book. This is The Christmas Promise by Donna Van Leer. This is one of the books in the Christmas Hope series. I already had the first 3, and this is either the 4th or 5th one. I was excited to find it. They're such pretty books, and this coming Christmas, I want to read as many of this series as I can. Last Christmas was Richard Paul Evans. This Christmas is going to be Donna Van Leer. I found a Cecilia Ahern book that I didn't have, and it was half price, so I think I paid 50 cents for it. It is called Rosie Dunn, or Dune, and I have 4 other books by Cecilia Ahern. She's one of my collected authors I've never read, and this looked cute, so I thought I would pick it up. Here's another Miss Reed book, The Village Centenary, and I just started collecting these just in the last few months because I noticed that they were blurbed by Jan Karan, who is really my favorite author of all time. I found One Cozy Mystery by Patricia Sprinkle. I have a few other books in this series. It's the Thoroughly Southern Mystery series, and this one is Who Invited the Dead Man? And I believe this is book 3. Here's one of the Love Finds You books. This one is in Snowball, Arkansas. I only have a few of these books, and I believe all the other ones I have are set in Florida. That's kind of why I've picked them up. But this one really looked adorable, and I just decided to go ahead and get it. I think I paid $1 for it, and you can't go wrong with $1. And then one more I've never heard of, but it looked really interesting. I may give this to my sister. It's called Miss Scarlett's School of Patternless Sewing by Kathy Keno Murillo. It is a crafty chica novel. It is also blurbed by Debbie Maycumber, who is one of my favorite authors. So there's a good chance that I will enjoy this one as well. I also picked up one other book at that thrift store. It was by Orson Scott Card called The Lost Boys. And I got that for one of my coworkers who's trying to collect Orson Scott Card hardcovers. Already given that to him. He's reimbursed me for it, and so here's what it looks like. The last 4 came from the Tampa Library. On the same day that my husband and I met with our tax guy, we came back through and stopped at the Tampa Library. They have a little bookstore within the library, and it's on the honor system. And I put in a $5 bill for these books, and here's what I got. I thought I already had this one, but I checked my book catalog on my Kindle, which I happen to have with me, and I didn't have this one. It's by Jody Thomas, called The Texan's Wager. I also picked up another one of the Christmas Hope series by Donna Van Leer because, as I said earlier, this next Christmas is going to be the Christmas of Donna Van Leer. I believe this is book 5 in the series. It's called The Christmas Secret. I found another book in the Jane Wheel mystery series by Sharon Pfeiffer. It's called The Wrong Stuff. And then I also picked up a hardcover copy of The Son of Neptune for Katie, and it's already on her bookshelf, so I'll show you a picture right here. She's in the process of rereading that series right now. In fact, on the day I picked up this book for her, she was finishing reading her library copy, but it's okay. She will probably reread them again, and it's a series that she wanted to collect. So it was definitely worth the 75 cents I paid for it. It was in decent condition, and I was happy that I found it. So those are the books that I bought in March. Now before I go, I want to show you 2 library books that I got from the Bookmobile that I'm going to read later. I just went ahead and picked them up the last time the Bookmobile was here because I didn't want to forget about them, and I was afraid I'd get home and forget the titles to put them on my TBR. And then I was at a regular library the other day, and I picked up a book for Katie. So the book I picked up for Katie is called The Merc by Robert Lettrick. Now, we have both read Frenzy by Robert Lettrick. It's kind of a horror action-adventure book that was one of our Sunshine State books. And Katie said that Frenzy was probably her favorite book of the 11 Sunshine State books that she read. So this was right next to it on the shelf by the same author. It looks crazy like Frenzy, and I think it's something that we will probably both get a kick out of reading. It's creepy, and so I picked this up for her to see if she might want to read it. And then for myself, from the Bookmobile, I found DIY t-shirt crafts. I thought this looked interesting, and I wanted to at least flip through it. I may come back to it later at some point, but it was on the Bookmobile, and I wanted to check out something, so I picked it up. And the same goes for this one. I was afraid I'd forget the title by the time I got home, and this is something I definitely want to read. I believe this is the first in a series. I'm probably not going to read this series right now, but I wanted to put it on my Goodreads TBR. It's The Most Famous Illegal Goose Creek Parade by Virginia Smith. Is that not the best title? The series is called Tales from the Goose Creek B&B, and it is centered around a bed and breakfast. So I think this looks really entertaining, and I am looking forward to getting to this at some point in my future. So that's my March book haul. If you have read any of these, let me know. If any of them look interesting to you, you want to try to find them at your library or used bookstore, then I hope you can. But that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.